thank you, ma'am. We're here again. Time to do another video on Dungeons and Dragons, and I've been waiting almost a week to actually unbox this product. It's been sitting here. I actually been quite excited about it. Now, for those of you who I totally understand, how many times have you seen an unboxing for this particular product? I don't know. I've watched almost 50 of them. So yet another one from me this time. So I totally get it if you're like, I've had enough. So I'm going to ham it up today. For those of you who are unaware, I'm going to ham it up. I'm turning my sarcasm meter from level 1 all the way up to 10. So that probably means that I'm going to offend somebody significantly. It's all in good fun. So just bear with me. Now, you will find the start time for this video down in the description like I normally do. It might be a little bit late because I've got to go to a baby shower today. I don't really understand what a baby shower is, but I'm going to one. Now, hello Brandon, how's it going? Look, if you haven't been part of my live streams, normally what I do is I present everything first and then I answer questions at the end. I'm probably not going to do that kind of format. Today I'm going to be a bit rough and ready and generally just have as much fun with this as I possibly can. So I'm going to do my intro and we'll get started and we'll go from there. Hi, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name is Fred Wheeler and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. Actually, what I want to do is I want to unbox a product that has been sitting in my cupboard, in my wardrobe for about a week waiting to do this video. Mornings, I have actually just got up. It's been about 30 minutes. I've got rushed around. I haven't had breakfast. I could do with coffee, but I could do with food as well. But that's going to have to wait because we're going to have a quick look at the Stranger Things Dungeons and Dragons 5e starter set. Yes, there is a Dungeons and Dragons starter set, but this is a second starter set because why have one when you can have two? I totally understand that. So I have set it all up. I'm ready to unbox and show you what we've got here today. Ta-da! There it is. It's ready to go. Very exciting stuff. Now, I have got myself some tools. I've got a knife and some scissors. Of course, I will include the normal wrapping noises or unwrapping noises you should expect from any video like this. You've probably watched hundreds, if not at least 50 of these things already, because that's essentially what's on YouTube right now. I have made sure to bring some plasters, because if I use the scalpel, I know I'm probably going to bleed. It is a red box, probably you won't notice the difference. So let's get started. I'm going to start off with the scissors and try for a corner. I was just thinking, this now makes the third Dungeons and Dragons red box, because there was the original red box and now we have a red box for Dungeons and Dragons 4e, which I have actually in my cupboard right now, which I don't really use, and I have to say it's not a particularly good product. And then we have this box, which is for Dungeons and Dragons 5e, which is also a red box, and as you can see they have sort of detailed it to make it look like it's old. I know a lot of people have enjoyed that particular aspect of it. Fine, I'm not really too concerned about that part of the dressing. It is essentially just a box. What I'm more interested in is what's inside. Now, for those of you who haven't figured it out, I've already done videos explaining what's in the box. So this isn't really a video about what's in the box. This is really a video about me opening the box and you seeing what's in my box, which of course makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It says we have 2 exclusive Demogorgon figures included. Righto, and of course we get the Netflix Stranger Things artwork. Well, I'll just pop that off there, move that out of the way. Oh my gosh, it's empty. I think there's nothing in here. I think they've forgotten to actually include anything in here. I know they did provide me with these very handy little air-filled bags and another box to actually help fill it out. There we go, one of those. And looks like we have some dice. These look familiar. These actually look almost completely identical to the original Dungeons and Dragons 5e starter set dice. In fact, I feel like they may in fact be exactly the same. And of course, just like before when people complained about not having a percentile dice, I don't know if you can tell, but There's definitely no percentile dice in here. Yeah, that is a handy little tearaway. Does it actually work? No, it doesn't. So I have to use my scissors. I will use my scissors instead. We'll cut it off right so. There we go. My Dungeon Master, Jean-Paul, is in here right now watching this video. I'm going to be talking to my buddies and see if we can play through this adventure, because I have been told that it's very, very short. You could probably play it in one session, which sounds good. So yes, we've got our dice. They're blue, with some sort of relief. Basically the same dice you get in the original Dungeons & Dragons starter set. Okay, that was nice. Very good. Alright, we'll stick them back in there, get them out of the way, and that can go there. We don't need scissors anymore. And then, of course, I love the way the Dungeons & Dragons design team has decided that we need large amounts of spare space inside of these boxes to put stuff. Of course, it's a starter set. When you're starting out, you don't really have any stuff, so it doesn't make an awful lot of sense. What's in the box? You get this tray that's red, and on the other side it's grey. You can see you have to actually sellotape. It requires some assembly. They are cute dice. I have to admit, Brandon, they are cute dice. So some assembly required. You need a bit of sellotape on each of those corners, and now you have a tray. Unfortunately, there are holes in the tray, so it's not really much use to you. Never mind. Okay, here we go. Demigorgons. Look at that. This is apparently what we are considered painted. Oh my gosh. It is so flimsy, this miniature. It's like they went down to the $2 shop or $1 shop or the Chinese Emporium, or they found a factory and said, can you please produce 2 miniatures out of the crappiest plastic we can possibly find? I now understand what Blanco was meaning when he said you can't paint these, because there's no way. They're so flexible, the paint won't stick on. You're definitely going to, I think he said, you're going to have to just use a wash. Just wash the thing. But you've got to wash it with soap and water, sink it into your alcohol. I don't know necessarily the Coke and bourbon might not necessarily be a good idea, but some alcohol to clean it off, and then you're going to have to just use washers. There is one that is painted, the mouth is essentially, and the other one is not. There is no chance of these breaking. In fact, these things could do the limbo and you'd be fine. All right, miniatures, lovely. Moving over there, or just head on down to your local $2 shop or $1 shop or Dollar Tree or whatever else, and I'm sure you can find something that's probably similar. In fact, does somebody notice this? So this is the Demogorgon. Now, when you think about the Demogorgon, this is not the Dungeons & Dragons Demogorgon, isn't it? Because that one has 2 heads. This looks like something from the Resident Evil game, from the Resident Evil movies. Resident Evil. So not an original name. They've picked a name. They think the kids called this is the upside down creature, right? So this is going to cause like super amounts of confusion, for sure. Absolutely guaranteed. Not only that, I'm pretty sure that they have taken the idea from Resident Evil, so not an original monster either. Do you know what this proves? That you can give your monster an unoriginal name, copy somebody else's name, and not only that, you can pick a monster that is not original as well, and it will still do fantastic in terms of popularity around the world, because of course Stranger Things is super popular, right? So no originality required, and all it requires is a good story and you're ready to go. Cool. All right. Okay. This makes up for me bailing for Dungeons & Dragons, Fred. Okay, enjoying that, but yeah, the baby shower. Yeah. Okay, right, here's the starter, Dungeons & Dragons Stranger Things starter set rulebook. Now, this is quite a lot thicker. I did hear that they had sewn the edge. To be fair, the staples on my original have not come out, and you guys know how many videos I've done on the original Dungeons & Dragons starter set. That's the same box I had. Okay, I haven't changed my box. That still lasted heaps and heaps of time. So the fact that they have now sewed it, I think that's a great addition. I think that's fantastic. I love that. That's good news, which means it's probably going to last a long time. And of course, we've got Hasbro on here. Why do we didn't have Hasbro on the last one? Hasbro actually want to be identified with this product rather than the Dungeons & Dragons starter set that they originally put out, because I guess this has Netflix on it and Stranger Things. Okay, they have done the contents page on the front, which I think is still a good idea. I'm going to move this out of the way just for a second. We'll come back to that. I'm not going to ignore it. Okay, all right. Oh, look at this. This is the adventure, an adventure book. Well, we know it's an adventure book because it has adventure book written on it. The hunt for the Thessal Hydra. I don't know what a Thessal Hydra is, but we'll find out soon enough. All right, and then we have, look at this. This is really original. Look at this. These look like bits of paper. They're quite thick. And there's how many in there? My little fingernail. It's a good thing I didn't cut my fingernails. Otherwise, I'd never have gotten these pieces of paper out. In fact, you could have been watching for the next 40 minutes while I tried to get those bits of paper out. Oh, that's right. I could have just turned the box upside down and I would have been fine. I didn't even think about that. Sorry about that. All right. Okay, so let's have a quick look here. I'm going to move this out of the way. The light is blocking me out. And there's your dice tray. There's your dice tray. No assembly required. Okay, so we'll move that out of the way. Oh, what's on the back? Oh, it just basically tells us what's in the box. Little pictures, a little bit of... What does this say? Will you make it out alive? Oh, I hope so. Will you encounter a beast with several heads? I think that's the case. Did you pack your wrist rocket? Wrist rocket? We're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Where's the wrist rocket? I don't understand that at all. Prepare yourself for anything. Because the game just got stranger. What a nice catchphrase. Okay, and then I'm not going to read out the rest of it because I don't really something about Dustin Dwarf and Will the Wise, and these are characters from the original adventure or something like that. I do feel like, for those of you who are wondering, my name is Fred Wheeler, and I am not related to Mike Wheeler. So if you thought in some way that I am actually related to Mike Wheeler from the Stranger Things TV series, I'm going to explain to you now. No, we are unrelated. We just share the same surname. Just got to make sure I put that out there, just in case you thought you might be meeting somebody who potentially knew somebody else who was famous, because of course I'm not famous. All right, so let's have a look. We have a bard at level 3. Well, that's interesting. Why is it not level 1 at level 3? I've heard this. Level 1 would have been nice, but level 3. So we're starting off a bit further on. And a cleric at level 3, paladin at level 3, a ranger at level 3. Well, they've really moved away from all of the core classes, like your fighter, your wizard, your rogue, and your cleric. And we've got a wizard. We've got a level 3 wizard. Okay, well, at least we've got a wizard, right? It doesn't actually state that they have names. It's all laid out pretty much the same as the original Dungeons and Dragons starter set pre-generated character sheets. Look, I don't have an issue with pre-generated character sheets. I think they're a good idea. I kind of feel that if you're starting out, that starting at level 3 might be just asking an awful lot, but less chance of dying. It's a good reason to do it, right? Okay, so all the information looks pretty clear and neat and tidy, and in fact it's included some spells, so you actually have the spells included. A little bit of work was required with the original ones. Okay, is it evocation? So you can sculpt spells. Yes, it is an evocation wizard. That's right. Dark vision. That means you're elf. All right. And on the back we get a little bit of information on half elves. It's a half elf, and they get a bit of a background. And then shelter to the faithful. I think that's some sort of, is that some sort of tie-in for your character to the adventure? I don't know. I will have a closer look. It does explain how to level from level 3 to 4 to 5, so you can go from level 3 to 5. It just excludes level 1 and 2 like the original one. And this one here, which is the Ranger, level 3, that has got same sort of arrangement. Wanderer, so it talks a little bit about the Wanderer. I don't think it's quite as... I'm going to have a closer look at these, which of course I will do, and I will get back to you on it. Don't you worry, you know me. So that's interesting. So it does actually give you quite a lot of important information. So I think that's certainly a bonus, and you're level 3 rather than level 1, so you don't have to worry about your new players crying because, or getting upset or deciding not to come back to the table because their characters died at level 1 because they had their first encounter and got ambushed by goblins and they all died. So yes, that's an improvement. I think that's definitely an improvement. We're going to go through and have a really quick look at the inside of the book. Not huge on that, but just a little bit of a look because that's why you're here. Okay, so let's turn the page. It is made to sort of look like somebody has created it themselves and they were kind of young. I don't actually believe that this is the original adventure that Mike ran in the Stranger Things TV series, because it wouldn't make sense, because they used the actual demo Gorgon with the two heads, and the bam, and there's a baboon heads, the baboon heads. Okay, it's kind of washed out a little bit. I've got a little light coming through. I'm going to knock out my lights and see if that helps you, because white pages don't stand out well. There we go. It's a little bit darker now, so we can actually see what's going on. It's kind of written out like a kid has used a lined book or exercise book, and notes for myself, the Dungeon Master. So we've got that. I'll look at that later. And it's all sort of done with the look that it's been used by somebody to a certain extent, not a lot. The whole story. So it gives you a rundown of the whole story. The audience with Sir Tristan. So Sir Tristan must be somebody who's important. I'm assuming this is the patron for this adventure. We'll get back to Sir Tristan at some point. Gifts from Sir Tristan. So they get given some stuff. Do they get given magic items? My gosh. I don't know which page I'm on, but I'm on some sort of page, but gifts from Sir Tristan. I can see a +4 greatsword there. That's pretty powerful. And I also see the word +3 greatsword. They're going all out. So somebody is going to get a pretty powerful magic item. I can also see the word +1 greatsword. I am very curious. So they're giving out a magic item at level 3. Blimey. They really are cashing in on things, aren't they? I'm a little bit shocked. I wasn't expecting that to happen so quickly. Rumours on the road. So you get some rumours to actually pass on. So I don't know, you have a beggar or a merchant or somebody, I suppose, and then you pass on some information as I'm exploring, and probably just going from A to B. I don't know exactly, but I will check out later. Now, here we go. Here's our first map. And troglodyte caverns. So that probably means there's going to be troglodytes. The cursed labyrinth is here. So a cursed labyrinth kind of suggests like a magic maze. I would imagine that's what's going to be taking place here. So we've got about, is that 10, 11? 11 locations for this troglodyte cavern, and we also get the labyrinth. Not quite as much as you would have got if you were playing the Dungeons & Dragons starter set, unless, of course, there's more in here. They have broken it down. I mean, each area, there's not a lot of information. So if you were starting out as a new Dungeon Master, it would be pretty easy to actually get yourself through this. I don't think it would require a lot of preparation. In fact, if I had to do a video on how to prepare for this particular adventure and box set, it won't take me very long to get through it. In fact, I think it'd be pretty simple. And that continues on. Oh, then we get the Cursed Labyrinth, and it looks like we use a 20-sided dice. We roll that, and that determines what's going to happen. So we might get a secret door, or just a door, or we might get, was this a strange four-way intersection? Oh, a straight four-way intersection. Okay, straight T-junctions. So essentially, you could wind up rolling this indefinitely, and then, so what do you have to roll to finally get out of the sodding thing? Re-roll, and you get another straight. Now, this could take a while. You could be here. Oh, I imagine it's the secret door. Okay? You either get to a door, so you got to roll like a 19 or 20. If you are the type of dungeon master like myself, who could roll forever and never get a 19 or a 20, you just roll 1s and 2s, you're never going to get anywhere. They're going to be stuck there for a long, long time. There, I feel sorry for them. There are a couple of things that look like they could happen here. Following the path. Some special encounters. I'm assuming these are included in the labyrinth as they are exploring. And it doesn't look like you just decide as the dungeon master where to put them by the looks. So what do we get? We get some treasure. We get the lost knights. We get a skeleton. We get some troglodytes. A pit trap. Of course we do. Get a pit trap. A damaged wall or damaged walls, something like that. And yes, so you just roll on a 6-sided dice to figure out what you get as you're exploring or going through your maze. Essentially, that's what's happening. Right, okay. Look at this. This looks like I might have drawn it when I was quite young. It does look like it's been drawn by a young kid. Although I do feel it'd have to be a 14-year-old who's actually pretty skilled at drawing. This is the Lost Knight, so we have an encounter with the Lost Knight. And then what else we got here? Looks like this is supposed to bleed into the upside down world. So we've got to make our way from wherever we were to the upside down world. Some little trees. I wouldn't say the artwork's fantastic. Big spaces though, I'm not sure I like that. What is the deal with Wizards of the Coast giving huge, large, extra bits of space for you to write stuff that you don't really need? I don't get it. Honestly, I don't understand. There's a sword. The sword could have been bigger. Fill up the space. What's this? What's this? I don't understand. It's a short adventure by the looks as it is. The upside down encounters. So we've got a few explanations about that. It's not very difficult to understand. And then we've got the Proud Princess. Make sure you don't take Dawson Leary with you, because Dawson Leary will probably catch the eye of the Proud Princess and you don't have a chance with her after that. And so there's a little bit of information on her. Yet more big blank spaces. Useful. And there it is. There is the Demogorgon, or the Resident Evil monster, named after a very famous Dungeons and Dragons monster, the Demogorgon, the upside down monster. So using the Demogorgon blood. Ooh, okay. It's getting a bit dark now. We're talking about blood. The lair of the Thessal Hydra. I don't know exactly if this is the Thessal Hydra or the Thessal Hydra is something else, but there looks to be, to me, I would say there's about 7 locations in the Thessal Hydra lair, and it's all laid out very, very simple. Oh, there it is. That must be the Thessal Hydra. I'm assuming that's a troglodyte of some kind, or a lizard person. I'm assuming a troglodyte. The smelly ones, you know what I'm talking about. So all the areas are spelled out. Look, there's literally like just a couple of lines. It's like one sentence, 2 sentences, and you're all done. And then we get the monster. Of course, everybody's going to want to buy this creature. Of course, you can't buy it yet because it doesn't exist, and I don't think they've actually made anything like it. And then we get to the end, the conclusion. And then empty space, places for notes, and the back page, which, honestly, I don't feel like I needed notes for this. What notes do I need to take? It's pretty simple. It's not that difficult. We'll be fine. Okay, next, let's have a look at the book, because there were no monster stat blocks in the adventure book. So I suspect they're in here, right? That would make sense. So, flip this open. They've used artwork from the Dungeons and Dragons, well, the Stranger Things TV series, and with a theme towards Dungeons and Dragons, and we've got some dice. Getting started, dice games. So I would say this is pretty much the same sort of stuff. Advantage, disadvantage, ability scores. Pretty much the same stuff you've got in the core rules for Dungeons and Dragons in the starter set, the original one. Strength checks, contests, proficiency, yes. It's all very much the same. A few box text areas. They've talked about hiding and vision. Hopefully it's better laid out than the player's handbook, or what they laid out in the starter set, because that really confused people a lot. They do talk a lot about each of the different ability checks, so they do actually give you a bit of meat behind it. Whereas before, I don't think you actually had that in the original box. Kind of a good idea. Yeah, finding a hidden object. Okay, so they've talked about that. Chapter 2 is combat. Well, it's very much about combat Dungeons and Dragons, although not everybody plays that way. So we've got initiative, we've got reactions, talks about bonus actions, actions your turn, and some of the kids from Stranger Things, the Netflix TV series, ready to action. So all the basic actions you would do, how to make attacks, causing damage, ranged attacks, melee attacks, 2-weapon fighting. Gosh, there's still a few people who are stuck on that one. Death, dying saves, let's hope that doesn't happen too often. Knocking out creatures, stabilizing, critical hits. And chapter 3 is the adventure. I don't understand. How come adventuring? Oh, it's about talking about adventuring. Long rests, short rests, climbing, jumping. Oh, okay. Marching orders, equipment. Do they include a little bit of information on equipment? Just talk a bit about coinage. So we do get sections about equipment here. So that means you actually will be able to sort of select some stuff, which is good. So I kind of feel like it's a bit of a combination of the core rules and the player's handbook with the key features you would need to actually pick up your armor. And so it looks like you could actually swap out some stuff and use this to build in different weapons and armor if you wanted to. Adventuring gear stuff, travel costs, food, ale, okay, all the expensive. So basically mounts and other bits and pieces, lodgings, all those sort of costs are there. And then we get another picture of the kits from Stranger Things. Spell casting. So spell casting is a big aspect. Breaks that down pretty well. Looks like it covers everything quite nicely. Well laid out. It's easy to sort of read. And then we get concentration. Oh God, that's a hairy one there. And then a bunch of spells. Now it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of spells here. I think just like the original, they've only given you a small sample and they provided you with those spells in description. So I'm going to flick past this pretty quickly because we're looking for monster stat blocks. Otherwise we're kind of a bit screwed. So where are they? I don't see them yet. Appendix B, monsters. Okay, so talking about monsters here, traits and all the basic stuff that you need to understand. And there we go. There they are. Do we get pictures? We don't really get pictures. I think we had a few pictures in the original. I don't see any pictures. I see a bugbear, a demogorgon, I see a cultist, a doppelganger, I see an evil mage. Got to have one of those. The flame skull, the ghoul, giant spider, most of the ones that we had in the original Dungeons & Dragons starter set. Goblin, hobgoblin. I think that's a slight change. I don't think there was a hobgoblin. Was there a hobgoblin? There might be, I think there was. An orchid jelly. No pictures as such. The Thessal Hydra is here. Troglodyte, skeletons, orc, and owlbear, an ogre. Okay, sturges, if you want to use sturges. The twig blight, zombie, and a young green dragon. Really? Young green, I don't remember seeing the young green dragon in the adventure. I'm going to have to look closer. And it then has the conditions as the last page. Right, that is it. That is my unboxing. As you can see, there's not a huge amount that's different from the original. I feel like it is pretty much the same sort of thing. Only difference is you've got a different adventure. I would say that adventure might take you 1 or 2 sessions to play through, and then you're probably done. I don't think you're going to get much more out of it. I don't want to make an opinion or form an opinion on this box set at this time because, to be fair, unless you actually have a really close look, it's not going to make an awful lot of sense unless you have a really close look. And I feel like running the adventure is really important. If you don't run the adventure, how would you possibly know if it's going to be what you want and whether your players will enjoy it? So, even though I've been very sarcastic right throughout this video and said all sorts of things which actually don't have necessarily any bearing on reality, some of it does, but not all of it, some of it does. I'm just going to say, look, if you have this box set, please tell me what you think of the Dungeons & Dragons Stranger Things starter set. If you bought it, what did you think of the product? If you haven't bought it, now that I've shown you this and you've watched like 50 other unboxings of this and reviews and so forth of the product, are you thinking of buying it, or are you going to wait until I give you more in-depth information about what's in the books? Because I would like to know, so let me know in the chat. Use the comments section because that's what it's there for. If you want to support my channel so I keep coming back and doing things like this and doing mental things live, then sometimes I do edited videos. Watching this video helped. I do have hundreds more for players and dungeon masters. You're welcome to go and watch them. I would appreciate it. That'd be awesome. That'll support me. I don't do Patreon, and I don't really plan to for 2019. Sorry about that. But I do have affiliate links to the Book Depository and Amazon. And yes, there is a link to this product if you really want to. That's just me. I've done my bit. Okay. I'm going to say share, like, and subscribe. I should really learn to say the share, like, and subscribe, but sing it like share, like, and subscribe. Hit that bell button. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Okay, I'm going to admit it. I may have overdone the zealous nature of this particular live video, and I may have offended people or upset people about their, beloved Netflix Stranger Things or their opinion of this box set. But I would just like to say that it's all in good fun, and I still haven't made my final decision about this product. And I'm going to come back to the live chat because that's what we do. We do live here, and this is the whole point of me doing this in the first place, is I do everything live, so you have an opportunity to talk with me. So I'm going to go to the live chat, we're going to have a chat, and then I'm going to go because I have to go to a baby shower. And please don't ask me what that is because I still don't really fully understand myself. Okay. All right, so there's a lot of people here. I'm going to just whip onto the top. If you have a question, put hashtag question. If you want to make a statement, like give me some feedback, go hashtag feedback, and I will make sure I don't miss it. Well, certainly that'll make it easier for me to find it. Brandon's here, Wizard 033's here, Tally Ho, yes, Joe's here. He's having a good laugh, good. Yes, just so you guys know, Jean-Paul is my dungeon master, and yes, I had to pike out on the game because I got a baby shower. So yes, I was supposed to be playing Dungeons and Dragons today, and I'm not, and I know that is a crime. But I don't know how long it's going to take, and honestly, I am so tired already that I just want to sleep for the rest of the day. So, what's in the box? Brad Pitt. Thank you very much, Darren. I don't know that do I sound like Brad Pitt? I've been told that I sound like somebody called Murray. I don't know who Murray is, but my father was named Murray. But I don't ever feel like I ever sounded like my father. So maybe it's just my imagination. I don't have a clue, but yes, cute dice, all right. Okay. It's empty space, Fred. It's you're full of your imagination. You've got to put your imagination in there. Or maybe it's just space so you can put stuff. Or I feel like the empty box is just to make the product look more impressive by making it bigger. If they had put it in like a 60-litre box, that would probably make it look incredibly impressive. But then you open it up and there's like hardly anything in there. So it's like, that's what I used to do to my brothers and sisters on Christmas Day, is I'd get this tiny little package and I'd stick it in this huge box and wrap it up. And then open it up and they're so excited and then open it. Oh, it's just this little thing. Well, I thought it was bigger. Yeah, that's what's going on there. I know, I've done it myself. Brandon, baby's first D&D set, tears running down cheeks. Yes, that's right. Yes. You're laughing at me because I got the baby shower. I know. The Thessal Hydra is from 1E Fred. Okay, is it the Thessal Hydra? Darren, thank you for that. I now know. It still doesn't change the fact that everybody's going to be confused by the Netflix miniature, which is the Demigorgon, and the Dungeons and Dragons Demigorgon. Oh, his head's being glued on. It's like a flower that's been glued on to a body. Seriously? Yes, it is. It's glued on. Or maybe that just made it easier to make the rubbery miniature. Wish they'd just given us one miniature that was better rather than two that are kind of made out of rubbish. But never mind, it's too late now. Darren, wrist rockets was a type of slingshot in the early 80s. I have one. Oh, okay. Okay, I think what you're talking about is, that's like the Y, isn't it? With the rubber band thing. Is that what we're talking about? The wrist rocket? I'm just guessing. Darren, you're not so old. Trust me, there's plenty of people who are older than you, and I'm getting on as well. It's all right. It's not a crime. Welcome to the geriatric. All right. Okay, is the characters, it's the characters the kids had in the show. Yes, it's the characters the kids had in the show. I believe that's supposed to be the case, that each of the pre-generated character sheets is related to the characters the kids had in the show. But there's 5 characters, so they didn't play 5 characters because there's not 5 players. So that doesn't really make an awful lot of sense. I feel like there's got to be at least one character there that they didn't use. Just my guess. Darren had a birthday on the 22nd, officially old now. Happy birthday, Darren. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Darren. And I didn't sing it very well, and I do apologise, but it's online and it's live, and I probably embarrassed you enough, so I'll keep going. Shelter of the Faith, what's that? An acolyte background feature. Yes, yeah, okay, all right. 4 days after mine. Look, this has been out for ages, right? Everybody's got it early. It's like, oh, it was supposed to be coming out on the 1st of May, and suddenly everybody releases it earlier than it's supposed to be. Didn't make any sense whatsoever. And of course, I'm in New Zealand, at the small end of the world where pretty much nothing comes to you fast. So it took a little bit longer, but it did come cheaper. I thought it was going to cost me a lot more, but Amazon actually charged me a lot less. I don't know why. I think the price dropped by about $10 or something like that. I think that's the reason. Okay, all right. And 4 days after mine. Oh, that means I need to go and get you something, Jean-Paul. My dungeon master's having his birthday, so I need to go and get something. I'll be doing that today. I'll have to make sure I fit that in with the baby shower. Darren, it's meant to be written by a kid in good old days. Yes, exactly. That is essentially the concept behind it. We had so much magical stuff back then, it was funny. Everyone had a Vorpal sword. Do you know, the day I gave a player a Vorpal sword in Dungeons & Dragons 5e, they just about passed out. And they wanted a holy adventure. The good old days. The Vorpal sword and the +5 holy adventure. Woohoo! Cool, not mucking around there. You really don't even need to have an attack modifier with a sword that powerful. The laser guns from Barrier Peaks. Oh, the laser guns? Ooh, yes. Hi, Matt. How's it going? The artwork looks like it's from the basic or advanced Dungeons & Dragons. You like it? I don't think there's anything wrong with the artwork. I was just poking fun at it. I've got to poke fun at something because, of course, you guys have already watched like unboxing videos till you came out. How many? I mean, I must have watched 50 from every channel I'd never heard of before. Everybody was doing one. Even channels that hadn't put anything up for like 2 years. So, yes, I had to mix it up a little bit. Make it a little bit different. Advanced Dungeons & Dragons art is some of the best. Ooh. All hail Oral Otis? I don't know who Oral Otis is. I probably pronounced it wrong, and which is why it sounds weird. Kind of sounds a little bit dirty, if you ask me. Toast. Oh, stop talking about toast. I'm getting hungry already. Bard. Brad? Fred's a Brad now. I'm a Brad. You mean a bard. I think you mean a bard. If I was a Brad, I think that's like a thin nail you fire out of a gun. Or is it a Brad? A Brad is like a braid? Braid? Maybe I'm a braid. I don't feel like I'm a hairstyle. Marcus, you got here $15 used does not seem that bad for a 2-session adventure that could go off into homebrew. Yeah, well, certainly the price drop has helped a lot, Marcus. I think that's a good point. $20 Canadian. For me, I had to pay with my shipping. I believe it was something like $15, $16, $17 shipping to New Zealand. That's New Zealand dollars, not your dollars. And the product itself was about just over $10 or about $10. So the shipping was more than the product. But I am very close to the South Pole, so that would explain a lot. Yeah. This will be a collectible one day. I feel like it's going to be a playable one day, like very soon, if possible. Worth a couple of nights of fun with the friends and fans of the show. Yes, I think it's going to get a lot of people involved. Yep, absolutely. You like the oversized 20, easy to read. Ooh, you like the oversized. The problem is with an oversized 20 is when you roll this thing, everything gets destroyed. You knock absolutely everything over, Scott. You roll it and bye-bye miniatures. All the dice get scattered everywhere. People's drinks get knocked over. It's just bedlam. But it's fun. It's still bedlam though. Darren, you made my day, Fred. I'm glad I made your day. All right, I'm going to keep going because I need to have some breakfast. And as I said, I have a baby shower to attend. And I have a birthday present to go and buy for my dungeon master, whose birthday is Yes, need to make that happen. Remember, look after your Dungeon Master. They are a rare commodity. So have a good day, have a good night, a good morning. It's probably morning for you. Good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Look after your family. Look after yourself. Make sure to Google what a baby shower is before you go to the baby shower, so you know what the heck you're supposed to be doing. And I will see you tomorrow. Now, for those of you who are unaware of what's going on tomorrow, there are so many people who wanted an unboxing and so many people who wanted a first impressions. I am doing my first impressions where I will read through the material and do another video on the topic, but we'll be looking at the written content rather than just opening the box. And I will actually go through the content and tell you what I think. Will you see my face or will you see the book? I have not decided because I haven't got time to plan that just yet. I will do that later. Baby shower comes first. So see you later.